All right, so you've been building up some pretty serious prompting skills, right? But here's the big question. Are we using them wisely? AI is a total game changer, we know that, but it is not perfect. So today we're going to talk about the red flags, the ethical lines you just can't cross, and how you can stay way ahead of the curve in this new AI-powered world. Let's finish this thing strong.
I want you to hold this idea in your head for everything we're about to cover. You are the architect. And the AI, well, think of it as your raw material and your construction crew, all in one. It can build absolute wonders for sure, but without your vision, without your ethical guidance, without your final sign-off, that beautiful gleaming skyscraper, it could be built on sand, and we all know how that ends.
So, every great architect, they know their materials inside and out. They don't just know the strengths, they really know the weak points. And guess what? AI has some pretty significant built-in flaws that you absolutely have to understand if you want to build anything worthwhile, and, more importantly, do it ethically.
Okay, first up, let's talk about hallucinations. And this is a big one. It's when an AI just makes stuff up. It can spit out completely false information, but here's the tricky part. It delivers it with the confidence of a world-renowned expert. I'm talking invented statistics, maybe even citing research papers that literally do not exist. Now, it's not technically lying, it's just weaving together patterns that look real based on all the data it was trained on.
And the second major flaw? Bias. Look, AI models learn from the internet, right? Which is this massive, incredible library of human knowledge and, well, let's be honest, all our human baggage, too. So it's inevitable that they absorb all of our societal biases. If the data it learned from is skewed, you better believe its responses will be skewed, too. Sometimes it can even make those prejudices worse. Just look at this example of how convincing a hallucination can be. The statement on the left, it sounds pretty reasonable, doesn't it? It's the kind of thing you might feel like you've heard somewhere. But then you look at the reality on the right, and whoa, it tells a completely different story. This right here is exactly why you can never just take an AI's word for it. Your oversight, your final check is absolutely essential.
And one last thing to always remember. AI doesn't actually think. It doesn't reason. It's a ridiculously sophisticated pattern-matching machine, sure, but it's not a critical thinker. And on top of that, it has zero emotional intelligence. It can't truly understand human feelings, which, as you can imagine, can lead to some seriously tone-deaf or just plain inappropriate responses when you're dealing with sensitive topics.
Okay, so we know the weak spots in our materials. We know where the cracks might show. Now, how do we, as the architects, actually build a solid, ethical foundation for our work? Let's dive into our core responsibilities. It really all comes down to these three main pillars. Number one, respect copyright. Number two, avoid plagiarism. And number three, protect data privacy like your life depends on it. And listen, these aren't just, good ideas to keep in mind. They are the absolute bedrock of being a responsible, professional prompt engineer.
And if you don't believe me, here's the bottom line, straight from the source. The AI model itself will flat out tell you, you're the one on the hook for copyright. The AI is just the tool. You're the one using it. And that means you and only you are legally and ethically responsible for whatever it produces.
And just a heads up, the rest of the world is catching up and fast. Major platforms, think Google, think Amazon, they're already building tools to spot AI signatures in content. This is exactly why you have to start thinking of AI as your copilot, not some secret ghostwriter. Use it to make your own work better, not to do it for you. All right, let's talk about two huge mistakes you need to avoid at all costs. First, and I can't say this enough, never, ever feed sensitive personal, financial, or company secrets into a public AI model. Why? Because that data could be used to retrain the model, which means you have zero control over where it ends up. Second, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Spending more time prompting than actually doing the work. Use the AI to get a first draft out, and then you jump in and make it great. Okay, we know the risks, we know our responsibilities. So, how do we actually put all of this into practice day to day? Well, it all comes back to our core skill, the thing we've been working on this whole time, crafting better prompts.
So a beginner might ask something super simple like this. Is this information true? But honestly, that's just way too vague. The AI has no context, no direction. You're basically just rolling out the red carpet and asking for a hallucination.
Now, this is a big step up. Assigning a role, using that act as technique we've talked about. Act as a fact checker. This is so much better because now the AI has a clear frame of reference. It has a job to do, but we can still do better.
This is where we get into the pro-level stuff. The real key is to build a layered prompt. You give it a very specific role, not just a fact checker, but an impartial one. Then a crystal clear task. Don't just verify, but scrutinize a specific claim. And here's the most important part. Give it a detailed process. You tell it exactly how to do its job, step by step. And finally, you set the tone. Be meticulous and objective. I'm telling you, this level of detail is an absolute game changer for getting results you can actually trust.
And that right there, that's the difference between a casual user and a real professional. Mastering this kind of detail is the key to your future in what's really becoming this powerful partnership between humans and AI. If you take one thing away for your career, let it be this. It's not about AI replacing people. It's about AI enhancing people. We're learning to work with AI as our copilot, using it to supercharge our own skills, our creativity, and our own human judgment.
All right, enough talk. Time to get your hands dirty. Here's your first challenge. I want you to perform a bias audit. Go pick a controversial topic in your field, something people argue about. Ask the AI for its opinion on it. Then turn the tables. Ask it this. Analyze your own response. What perspectives were missing? Where might your data be skewed? It's a really powerful way to see this bias stuff in action for yourself.
So there you have it. You now have the foundation to be an effective, a safe, and an ethical prompt engineer. But you know, like any advanced skill, mastery only comes from one thing: doing it. Application. So get out there and start building.
And always remember, you are the architect. The AI is an incredibly powerful tool. That library of knowledge is nearly infinite, but you're the one with the vision. You're the one who provides the blueprint. You set the ethical lines, and you give the final sign-off. Now go build something amazing.